Good morning. We're going to try this again. Welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together. And I've been practicing. I've had intensive practice for 7 days now. But I think that part of the journey should be over today, and we should be going home. And I am very happy. But in the process, in this process of being here since Sunday, I have learned so much. So hopefully, I'm going to add some YouTube videos later. There's just some teaching that I learned, and I've taken some notes. It's been really good what I've learned in the middle of the fire, in the middle of the trial, in the middle of this difficult time, right? And so that's a little bit of what I'm going to talk about this morning as we talk about how to peace out. Because when we get under pressure, we learn who we really are. And sometimes we don't need to know that as much as when we're under pressure, we also learn who God really is and how much we're trusting Him and how much we're not sometimes. And sometimes we get ourselves in a frustrating spot, like I'm trusting God, but that doesn't mean that everything's going to just be immediately fixed, right? So I went to Psalm 91 because sometimes in Psalm 91 we've taken that first verse or two like it means if we trust God, nothing bad's ever going to happen. Well, that wasn't true for anybody in the scriptures, as it wasn't even true for Jesus, because he trusted God. He walked with the Father more closely than any other human being because he was God too, right? But he was crucified. It didn't keep bad things from happening, right? So trusting God doesn't mean bad things aren't going to happen, but it does mean that when bad things do happen, we are hidden in Him. And so Psalm 91, the first couple of verses says this: those who live in the shadow or the shelter of the Most High. That's that King James training, baby. I can't get rid of that. Okay, those who live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty. The next verse says this: this I declare of the Lord, He alone is my refuge, my place of safety. He is my God, and I am trusting Him. How powerful are those two verses? It doesn't mean all the bad things go away. It just means in the middle of them, I'm going to continue to trust Him. And He is my shelter. You don't need a shelter unless there's a storm. You don't need protection unless there's something coming at you. You don't need a refuge unless you have a reason to hide from something that's coming after you. But God is all of those things for us. That means we're going to be tempted. We're going to have struggles. We're going to have troubles. We're not going to be exempt. Hiding in the shadow of the Almighty does not mean we are exempt from problems. It doesn't mean we're exempt from struggles. It doesn't mean we're exempt from the things that are going to happen in life because we're living a life that's full of stuff. It means when our lives are full of stuff, we have a place to hide. And in that hiding place, God is going to give us His peace. He's going to give us his strength. He's going to watch over us. But He's not going to prevent bad things from happening. That's an illusion that came with this scripture from the 70s and the extreme faithers that try to tell us if we had faith, nothing bad ever happened. Well, bad things happened to them too. They just don't tell you about it. And I got a list. If you want to know, DM me. I'll give you my list of things that happened, to those who proclaimed that faith was like this protection so that nothing bad would happen. Well, you know what? Tell that to Paul. He was stoned, he was shipwrecked, he was put in prison for something he didn't do. Tell it to Daniel, who was a slave, a captive. He was made unable to bear children, unable to reproduce, and he lived his life as a captive and was thrown in the lion's den. Tell that to the three Hebrew children who were thrown in the fire for trusting in God and refusing to bow to the idols, right? Tell that to pick a Bible hero and tell them that living in the shelter means nothing bad's going to happen because all of our Bible heroes are our Bible heroes because of what they went through and still came out trusting God. God went through the stuff with them. That's what it means. God went through the stuff with them. There was a place to hide while the storm was going on. There was a refuge while the battle was raging outside, and sometimes the battle rages inside. And God doesn't say, I don't do inside work. I don't do inside battles. I can only handle the natural stuff, or I can only handle the supernatural stuff. I can't, No. God can it all. God can handle. God doesn't exempt us. We're living in the shadow of the Almighty, or the Most High. So it says we find rest right in the middle of the battle, right in the middle of the struggle. We find His strength right in the middle of the struggle, in the middle of the battle. He's with us. It doesn't mean that we ignore the battle or we act like it's not there. It means that we can go to Him in the heat of the moment and go, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to do. All I know is, I'm going to say this right here. He is my God, and I am trusting Him. No matter what the outcome looks like, no matter what the end result of whatever this is I'm going through looks like, I'm going to trust Him. And that, my friend, is where peace comes. It may not change the battle, but you're still going to have peace. It may not change the stress of the moment, but you're still going to have peace. It may not change, because you're going to have to work through that emotional stuff that comes with the struggles that life brings to us, but we can do that trusting God, knowing He's with us in it, that He's not outside this hospital going, oh, I got you when you get home, but I don't do hospitals. No, right? No, God's got us, and that's why we're going to declare, I am trusting Him, and that's where that peace in the middle of the storm, the peace in the middle of the battle, the knowing you're going to win no matter what it looks like, and knowing what gets pressed out of us in those struggles is a valuable lesson. God, just throw that out there. What happens when those struggles come? What happens to us? What gets pressed out of us? Do we feel, when we get under pressure, do we run back to that refuge, or do we run away from that refuge? That's a good measure to know, because then you can fix it. You can say, wait, I ran away from God and I needed Him. Does that even make sense? No, but sometimes when we're in that emotional turmoil, that's our response. We run away because we don't know where to put everything. And God is just sitting right there. He's right here going, I got you. I got you. But the key is to live in the shelter of the Most High. Don't visit when things get tougher. You live there. We live there. We fellowship with Him. He walks through every single moment of every single day with us. We don't leave Him at home when we go to work. And if we work from home, He doesn't stay outside till we come get Him. He's with us. And it comes down to just trusting Him day in, day out, and living in His shelter, living in His heart, living in Him, living in His Word, claiming His promises in the middle of the battle, in the middle of the storm, in the middle of the struggle. There can be peace, because we're going to live in that shelter that we don't need unless there's a reason to hide, right? I got lots of reasons to hide. I don't know about you. But in the middle of all of that, I can trust Him and I can have that peace. That's when I can peace out. Peace out, you guys. I will see you again Monday, but I will be home, right? I'm going to be home today. So anyway, have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday morning.